Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Today, I want to talk about Kanye West and Adidas. Looks like there's been an interesting update in the whole saga between Mr. West and Adidas. Adidas just made a statement that was kind of interesting. I think it's worth breaking down. So, I want to come on in, get comfortable, buck up a seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under the B1 condition. B1 means Black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means we educate our kids. Black first means we break generational curses. If you agree with the B1 philosophy, put a B1 in the chat. Let me know how many B1 people we got in the building. So let's talk about this guy right here on the screen, Mr. West, Mr. Kanye West. Kanye is, I think, one of the best rappers in history. He is one of the more interesting, more iconic individuals of this generation. I had last year during our All Black National Convention, Kanye called me during the convention, and we talked probably a good 10 or 12 hours, and we were talking about a lot of what's been going on in his life financially and racially and everything else. It was interesting. It was an interesting conversation. I'll never forget it. But at the same time, it was sometimes enlightening and interesting, sometimes very frustrating for both of us. But at the same time, he's a grown man. He can do what he wants to do. And I'm just going to say this right now. I really wish he could have found some way to express himself without crapping all over his Adidas deal. But, that's his money, not my money. It's his money, right? So, Ye, if you don't know, in case you didn't know, he the deal with Adidas kind of went flop. There is some word of Adidas and Kanye making some sort of agreement. That was what the discussion was. I don't know the details of that. I can say, however, that I don't believe that they are doing business. And the reason I don't think they're doing business right now is because Adidas just basically told the whole world they're going to pretty much kind of give away all the Kanye shoes. They're going to just, they announced today, this is on Yahoo News, hit the thumbs up button as read the story. Yahoo News is basically saying that Adidas has made an announcement that they have $1 billion worth of Yeezy shoes sitting around that they don't know what to do with. And they are claiming, and they're being open about this. It's not like that was a secret. They explained how they lost hundreds of millions of dollars in the 7 months since they ended their partnership with Kanye. If I was to show you Adidas's stock price, especially after they got rid of Kanye, it was pretty bad. It was looking pretty ugly. Adidas kind of got in bed with the wrong situation, basically. Now, mind you, the stock has actually been recovering though. So as much as we could say that Adidas's stock price did drop when the controversy happened with Kanye, Adidas is actually kind of moving forward. It's kind of interesting. I haven't looked at Adidas stock. I didn't want to really touch it because I think Kanye is a very powerful force within Adidas. He was making probably, I think, 100 times more money than the CEO or something. But if you look here on this chart, you will see that if you bought Adidas stock at the start of the year, you would have made a 30% return on investment. The last 6 months, it's made 34%. The last year, it's dropped a little bit. But the last few months, Adidas has been kind of rocking it out stock price wise. And the reason it's been rocking it out is because the price was so low. So this just kind of goes to something that we've talked about, that a good company is not always a good investment, and a bad company is not always a bad investment. A bad company can be the best investment in your portfolio because look, Adidas had a lot of financial problems. When they ended the deal with Ye, that cost them a lot. But if you see here, if you went in and bought when the stock was down, let's say, in the 60s or something, it's now at $91 a share. So Adidas is figuring things out, I guess. They got new people in place. Well, Adidas just made an announcement regarding Kanye, and here's what they said. I'm opening this article. It's on thestreet.com. They said the German sports brand was sitting on more than $1 billion of unsold sneakers that it has in stock due to the sudden end of its partnership with rapper Kanye West, which I think was a bad idea. I think they should have kept their partnership with Ye. But that's their business, not mine. On Thursday, Adidas CEO Bjorn Golden announced that the company would resume selling the remaining stock of West's Yeezy line and donate its proceeds to charity. Now, this is obviously going to cause some legal issues, I imagine, because I know that one thing Kanye did say to me was repeatedly was that he felt that Adidas had stolen his copyrights or stolen his designs. He literally sent me text messages of designs that he had that where he said they took this, they took this, they took this, they took this, and I don't know. I'm gonna just be honest. I don't even know why people spend all that money on sneakers anyway. I'm like 50 Cent. Like, why would you spend more than $150 on some shoes? I don't even get that. But you know what? If it works, then God bless you. So here's what else is stated here. It says what we're trying to do now over time is sell parts of the inventory and donate the money to organizations that are helping us, and that we're also hurt by Kanye's statements. Mr. Golden said Adidas ended its partnership with West in October after the rapper, who now goes by the name of Ye. I never called him Ye though. I don't know if that insulted him or not, but I called him Kanye because that's what you are. That's your name. I can't keep switching names like Diddy and all that. Diddy, in my mind, Diddy's kind of still Puffy or Sean or something. I can't change it. I can't. Let's go. Adidas ended his partnership with a rapper whose name goes by Ye after he made some anti-Semitic remarks on social media, blah, blah, blah. The company considered several options on what to do with the stock, including destroying it, which would have cost them $550 million. It had already announced last week that the loss of Yeezy had cost them $441 million in sales, 7 months after making the swift decision to terminate its partnership with West, which again, I told you I disagree with that because I think that if they had kept their partnership open, I think they could have still made their money, right? So I think that whole thing, the whole thing with West and Adidas was sad to me because when you got something good going, you stick to what you got going. You can't, some of y'all, and you gotta understand this. This is a lesson on relationship management. My wife is a relationship expert, and I was just giving a speech to some people in the music industry. It was an artist development camp in Detroit run by John Boyd. John Boyd's daughter Victory. She's won some Grammys and she signed with Rock Nation. She actually wrote some songs on Kanye's album. So John and I are buddies. John's been on this platform, and John had me come speak to the artists. And the one topic that I addressed with them is I said, you people think that managing relationships has nothing to do with money. And I said, relationships are everything when it comes to money. People that have good relationships tend to have money. People that can repair relationships and maintain healthy relationships with others tend to have money. If you are a bombastic egomaniac who cusses people out on the drop of a dime, walks up in the office building high and drunk and or drunk on either liquor or drugs or or high on your own ego, ain't nobody gonna want to work with you. Ain't nobody gonna want to be around you. So when the money starts flowing and opportunities arise, ain't nobody gonna invite you to the party. So one thing that I explained to them was I said, look at how many music groups there are that if they could have stayed together and stayed healthy and stayed alive and stayed, connected, could be making millions of dollars a year right now. Look at New Edition. Look at old Bobby Brown. Anybody seen Bobby Brown trying to perform My Prerogative and he's 55 years old? He's huffing and puffing, big old bell, My Prerogative, right? It's hilarious. It's so funny. But I love it though. I think it's beautiful because I'm like, these are some smart brothers. One of the guys from New Edition is in the Black Business School. And I talked to him on the phone and I said, man, I'm so proud of you all because I have no idea how y'all figured out how to deal with all the individual egos and still come back together in your 50s and still be making money. They're still selling out shows and selling out arenas. They got all these women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that grew up loving New Edition that have money now that will spend big money on their tickets. They will listen to Ralph Transvet sing Candy Girl until they're 100 years old. That's generational wealth, right? And so when I see the situation with Kanye and Adidas, it makes me think about some of the great partnerships I've seen in sports. Like, remember any football fans remember how great the Dallas Cowboys were when they had Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones, and then they had Emmett Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and the baddest dudes on defense, and they were just running through the NFL, destroying the entire NFL, winning Super Bowls like it wasn't nothing. But then what happened? People's egos got in the way. Relationship problems happened between Jerry and Jimmy, and next thing you know, the team gets broken up, and Cowboys ain't won a damn thing in 30 years. Been garbage since the 90s. Garbage, like a joke since the 90s. The Chicago Bulls had Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Kukoc and Rodman, and all these guys that could just they were running through the NBA, winning championships like it wasn't nothing. Railed off just damn near six, kind of like six in a row. Michael took a little break, we know that, but pretty much kind of six in a row. And the way I remember it, they could have kept winning championships. They could have kept, but what happened? Egos and relationship problems. And next thing you know, the team breaks up, and then you're not winning championships anymore. So your family, some of your families are just like that. Some of your families are like the Cowboys. You were killing it. You had a business with your cousin and your mama and your sister, and then somebody started arguing. Next thing you know, the business fell apart. Now all of y'all out here trying to figure it out by yourself. When I looked at the deal with Kanye and Adidas, I don't doubt Kanye's ability to go make money. I mean, Kanye, I can definitely confirm he's a very confident person, and he will never lack confidence. Um, and I didn't, I commend what he does as a rapper, and I don't understand everything he does. I just told him what I thought and gave him my 2 cents. But I just feel like that deal with Adidas was a beautiful deal. Adidas was making money hand over fist, billions of dollars with those shoes. Kanye was making insane amounts of money. I saw the books. I said, Lord Jesus, I ain't never seen anybody making this much money in my life. This man was making insane amounts of money. And it makes me sad because that really could have been a heavyweight uh, investment in the Black community. I think that could have transformed some of these neighborhoods in Chicago where kids are dying and going to jail and can't get jobs. That wealth in the right hands, I think, could be utilized to create opportunities for so many people, right? And so, what I would say is that when the deal broke up, Kanye lost, Adidas lost. I don't know who lost the most, but I think that they both lost something because that type of, of magic. Sometimes what happens in financial situations, and I want to warn you in case if you ever get a good situation, a good relationship, you're dating the right woman, or you get in a situation where you're all making money together, never take that for granted. Never assume that you can just go and replicate the magic somewhere else overnight, because it's so many times people will do that and then try to go recreate what they just did, and they can't do it. And so when I see that Adidas deal with Kanye, the magical part of it that was so interesting to me was how they tried to recreate the magic with Beyonce. They couldn't do it. Beyonce's Ivy Park deal ended because they could not sell Beyonce's products at the scale that they were selling Kanye stuff. Kanye and Adidas had just the magic partnership. Adidas stepped in, they helped him get his website together, they helped him get his distribution together, his packaging together. They were adding value in their own way. Kanye was being Kanye, which, he's iconic. You can't take that away from him. And I just thought it really worked, man. And I can tell you this, the other problem I think Ye might have long term is that a lot of if he's trying to distribute his own products in his own way, he's going to have a hell of a team in order to get that done. And not to say he can't have that team, but remember, leadership requires you to have the ability to not just build the right team, but you got to manage the right team. Being a leader requires you to some extent to be a bit of a people person. You have to be able to keep people together, and I can say this as a person who runs a team. I took entire classes on how to deal with different personalities and how to study personality types. There's a website called 16personalities.org, and I had an expert consultant come in and have my whole team take a test to figure out which of the 16 personalities that they have so we can understand how to treat each other. And so I'm not going to say Kanye can't go and do whatever he wants to do, but being a rapper and being a businessman at a very high level are two different skill sets. And the same way I probably couldn't go in the studio and be a rapper, I think we would be failed to make the assumption that a rapper can just step in the boardroom and become a businessman. typically they have to hire somebody else that can really run that institution. And Adidas is especially equipped at sort of taking something that's amazing and distributing it to the world in a certain way. In other companies that can do things at that level of an Adidas may not want to deal with Kanye because of that. I talked to, remember, at the last All Black National Convention, the CEO of the Air Jordan brand came to our convention. He was there when Kanye called me, and I told him Kanye called, and I can't tell you what he said, but I can say that I wonder if other people that run companies like Adidas are going to be interested in working with Kanye if they feel that he's going to go in and just become and just destroy value the way he destroyed value with Adidas with that, by not getting off that anti-Semitic thing. And now I know some of y'all have mixed feelings. I know that y'all are rooting for him. I am too. And I get that. And I respect all points of view on any of this. But really, this is a business lesson in terms of understanding um, that if I was to give you a simple point, a simple lesson on this, I would tell you that the more I learn about money, the more I learn about business, the more I learn about investing, the more I learn that you can't get away from people, and you can't get away from relationships, and you can't get away from understanding how to get everybody on code. My new book, by the way, is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It's on Amazon. Feel free to grab a copy. It's a best-selling book, and it's all about getting everybody on code so that you can all show up for each other in the best possible way and accomplish amazing things together. Because if you get your family on the same page, and I'm not talking about the people you're related to, I'm talking about the people that you rock with, the people that get you. If y'all get on the same page and y'all all are working hard for the betterment of the group, you cannot lose. You mean to tell me that five of you, 4 or 5 of your smartest friends, if all of you show up and it just are committed to being good to each other, committed to putting the group ahead of yourself, leave your egos at the goddamn door. You mean to tell me you can't possibly help each other find a way to survive better than whatever the white man's got for you? Seriously. A lot of us have to sell ourselves into slavery because we can't get along with the people that we are close to. You're not supposed to be out here chasing jobs like that. Some of y'all aren't anyway. Maybe some people are, but you're not supposed to be going to other communities looking for opportunities. You're supposed to be creating them within yourselves. So I encourage you, for those of you that are hearing anything that I'm saying, and I know some people may agree or disagree, and that's their right. I don't, it's okay. Um, I encourage you to really explore that. One thing I can give my wife credit for, because she's a therapist and stuff, is she taught me about um, how you deal with people and how you deal with things matters a lot when it comes to the ability to keep the group connected and the ability for the group to succeed. If you are a father and the head of a household and you get that power of being the head of a household, with great power comes great responsibility. You can't say, well, because I've got this power, I can just go piss on people and mistreat people or whatever. That will always backfire on you. That's why I feel so bad whenever I hear stories about some dad who beat up his wife and would get drunk and be mean to his kids and all that. That's an abuse of authority. It's an abuse of power. Your job is to make people's lives better. And then when you look at families, and we just think they're breaking up the family, and you have women that brag about leaving their man, and then they leave another man, and they think that every time they leave the man they're doing something good for the world. And it's like, no, you're just leaving people. You're leaving one situation after another, and that's not going to empower you. That's ultimately long term going to weaken you, because now all the work that could be shared amongst two people is only going to be done by you. And I personally believe, my theory is that a lot of it comes back to ego. So I encourage anybody who wants to build healthy teams with other people, and these teams will make you rich. Find good teammates, and then agree to leave your egos at the door, and agree to put the well being of the collective ahead of whatever the hell you want to do. That goes for your family, that goes for your business, that goes for your investment club, all of that. If everybody shows up with that mindset and then says, okay, whenever we have a problem, we're going to go through a process so we can resolve this issue, so we can stay together. That's the goal. It's not me against you. It's us against the problem, right? If you have that approach, then what you've done is you've insulated yourself and insulated the relationship to make it strong enough for you to go out here and get money together, right? So when I look at the Adidas deal, the thing that one area where I say Kanye and I are not the same is Kanye is very, very proud. He has his his self-esteem, he's not lacking self-esteem. I'll just say that. And I don't really know how that works, because when you're always putting yourself as the solo alpha of every situation that you're in, then you're ultimately going to end up alone. And I don't know how you can succeed like that. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, you might be okay, you might do all right, but you'll never reach your potential, because white folks, when they make their billions as a group. Go study. There's Wall Street Journal just did an expose on Bernard Arnault, the richest man on the planet. Bernard Arnault owns Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Hennessy, Christian Dior, Tiffany. He owns all these luxury brands. And you know what Bernard Arnault does? He puts a chunk of his time in his children. He has spent 30 years grooming his children to run and take over his empire. When I read that, I said that man's going to live forever. He's going to live another 300 years now. He can make 200-year plans for his company because he's instilled a culture where everyone comes together for the betterment of the family. If you think that way, then you'll have wealth. If you're thinking about yourself all the time, you're never going to have anything. When you die, it'll all be done. There'll be nothing left. So that's my belief. That's my 2 cents. That's my stream of consciousness. I'm done talking about this. So I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, and I'm going to be in Dallas May 19th for Black Wealth Training Camp. If you want to network with other wealth builders, things like that, feel free to join us. You can go to boycewatkins.com and get information about how you can join us in Dallas. Also, my new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It is available on Amazon. Also at boycewatkins.com, I have a couple other things, flashcards for kids, if you'd like to take a look at that, or also a training on how to make money without working. So feel free to take a look at some of the resources that we have. I want to see you at your best, and I want to see you give your best. And you don't have to agree with me in order to do it. You just have to agree with yourself. So God bless you. Have a good night. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate your time. I'll see y'all later. Peace.